G'day Reefers, welcome to Gallery Aquatica TV. I'm Ania and today we're going to do another episode of the Frag Files. So today the genus we're going to focus on is Turbinaria, but first let's go check out some of the corals that have grown out from our previous episodes of Frag Files, the Dallas Acropora. So just to recap, we had 10 pieces of Dallas that we set as a branching upright frag and 10 pieces that were sideways sausages. And look at the growth. We've got encrusting base on both treatments. However, what's really exciting is the number of axial corallites that have developed on the sausages. This is really impressive, and we've got 6, 7, maybe even 8 axial corallites on some of these sausage-shaped frags, so I'm really impressed by that. We've got the Corallimorphs that we fragged earlier, and there have been some really impressive results. If you can remember, we cut some through the mouth, and we cut some through their feet. Both methods have worked incredibly well, having propagated from one polyp into multiple polyps. So now that we've assessed our previous frag files, let's get fragging Turbinaria. So first up, we've got some preparation to do. We have got to get snippers, we've got the frag plugs ready and they are soaking. Now the function of this is to ensure that the bubbles come out of the porcelain so they don't ruin the glue process. We've got our glue, today we're using CG, and we've got to prepare some coral dip. Now, I use a range of different dips, but I truly feel that for this purpose, an iodine-based dip, such as the Seachem Reef Dip, is going to suffice quite nicely. This is probably my best choice because we're actually cutting through tissue, and it has antibacterial properties. We've got a rack where we're going to put the frags once we're done, and this is where we're going to put our Turbinaria. So let's go get it. We're going to cover a range of different growth forms of Turbinaria today, and this is the first. I'll just grab the other ones. So we've got 4 different Turbinaria here ready to go. We've got varied growth forms. There is branching Turbinaria, which is the Heronensis, scrolling, and also a lovely little cup. So let's prepare the frag plugs. First up, we're going to put the scrolls on these large tiles. I think we'll do 8 of each. And I'm going to use these rock shapes plugs for the branching. I really like these because they have a little divot inside which helps prop up a branching frag. We've just got to dry them out when we set them down. And probably use some with stems with which to do a little experiment. So just got to pat these dry, get all the excess water off the surface in preparation for the glue. The CG is my favorite because it's just so gelatinous. Always sits nice and upright, easy to take out of the container. I just love it. I'm going to start with the easy one first, which is this whirling platey Turbinaria. We're just going to use our standard snips because it is such a thin skeleton. We've got 2 different colours on this beautiful piece. Now I don't really want to ruin how nice it is, but we've got quite a few customers in store that have requested some Turbinaria. So here I go. Just going to take some from the edges where there's a bit of damage here. So hopefully it will grow and heal over quite nicely. Maybe Cam won't notice what I'm doing. I think that's enough. We'll pop that back. very, very easy. I'm just going to mount them on these large frag plugs. And because it will have a little bit of a whirling scroll shape, what you could do is pop a little rock under each one to prop it up on the side. But once it encrusts, that new growth is probably going to create that shape for you irrespective of how you've mounted it. And if you're not in any kind of hurry, it's going to look really nice either way. So they're done. Now, we've got my favourite Turbinaria. This is quite rare for Australia. It's called Turbinaria heronensis. We've got two different colours, and this is what we're going to call branching Turbinaria. This one's actually like a teal bluey green colour, and this one's purple. So we might end up doing 5 of each. Still going to use the standard snips, and we'll probably just find some easy parts of the branches so it doesn't really look too unattractive. Just going to leave that as our mother colony for later. We've got a nice large piece here too. Wow. And with the green one, where can I take a piece? You can see these blades. We have had this mother colony for so long. It's probably been about 3 years now. And to be honest, we actually, when we received it, it was probably about 2 inches in size. It's had some very impressive growth over the years we've kept it. I'm just going to pop that back. We've got our pieces here. I'm going to position them nicely on these rock frag plugs and utilize the different props with which to hold them up. You can use the divot in the frag plug to your advantage really well here. If they don't sit up by themselves though, I like to use all kinds of things for props. You can use a sponge or a little bottle. Whatever's on hand is generally what we use. If you're using a nice gelatinous coral glue, as we are here, you probably don't need to wait too long to get that perfect hold. Being an LPS coral, the Turbinaria will likely grow pretty fast if you feed it. We find our mother colonies really enjoy pellets here. The Vitalis LPS pellets is what we use, but I'm sure they enjoy reefroids or any kind of powdered coral food as well. Just put some of this little broken bit in that one. Wonder if that's going to be 2 colours. Lovely. Ooh, ooh. I moved the prop too early there. Getting a bit excited. There we go. So to set it, we use water. I'm just going to use it from the system they've come out of. And you can use a turkey baster, Julian's thing, a pipette. This is going to set the glue. As you can see, I let the water run down into the tray below. Oh man. Placing the water from top down also prevents the glue from coming back up and covering the coral tissue. This rare Turbinaria is actually a scrolling form, has tight little scrolls. We received a frag many years ago from one of our favourite reefers, Derek. So I'm just going to put down some little plugs because it's certainly only going to need very small frags made with which to share with other reefers that are excited about this strain. And again, just so they're attractive, we want to cut the frag so there's a little bit of the nice finished growth edge on each frag, if possible. And hopefully the frag will encrust on the cut edge, which will be nicely healed over once we use our iodine-based coral dip. So let's get into that experiment I mentioned earlier. We've got this thick Turbinaria peltata, and what I'm very interested in finding out is, will it make a difference if we frag single polyps or multiple polyps for how well it will propagate? So I'm going to use the crescent cutters for this one because it is a slightly thicker skeleton, and I like the idea of using these for this purpose. So let's go. Now, what we're hoping is to have a bit of control. Oh, it's a strong skeleton. Jeez. There we go. Wow. The Turbinaria generally will obtain its energy from the sunlight. Of course, it's photosynthetic. However, it also feeds heterotrophically, which means if food lands on the polyps, it's certainly going to consume them and transfer that energy into new growth and tissue. I might leave this little stumpy base, do a new growth edge for in the future. So I'll try and get some single polyp pieces for the experiment. What are we going to do? Maybe this one. One. Two. That's a 2. That's a 2. We've got 4, 4, 5, 3. I'd be really interested to find out if it makes any difference if you leave just microfrag, you know, a single polyp. There we go. Okay. I wonder how long it will take for these to develop. Maybe we'll give it another month or so. Now that I'm back on the scene, I'll certainly keep my eye on it. So these 4 are single polyp, single mouth pieces. 2, 2, 3, 3. 4, 4. Just a couple more, why not? Don't forget the squares. Lovely. The more pieces we have, the better we'll be able to see if there makes any difference at all in encrusting or growth. Now at the end here, there are some little pieces left over which don't have any kind of polyp at all. We're going to put them down and see if it's possible to grow the frags without any kind of mouth, and also to see how long it will take for them to grow a mouth. All these Turbinaria frags need now is a quick dip in the iodine, back in the bath, and then we're going to throw them in the system so we can check up on them a little later down the track. So that's all we have for today's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to check out the progress on Turbinaria propagation.
So that's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe as well. We'll be putting out videos every week showing a new tank with new products. There's going to be lots in all the videos. I'm Cam the Fish Guy, and keep on reefing.